Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another retro RPG. And this week I would like to present this, the Millennium's End GM's Companion, a 1994 sourcebook for the Millennium's End role-playing game by Chameleon Eclectic. And this is a very good sourcebook. Millennium's End itself came out in 1991, so this came out a few years later. And it basically contains everything I want from a GM sourcebook. It's got adventure ideas, it's got NPCs, it's got maps, just so much that a games master in the middle of play, when he needs something, can just reach out, grab a sourcebook, and have information at his fingertips. I really like this sourcebook. It is very, very useful in running Millennium's End. One of the peculiarities of the book, which I'll mention before we start going through it, is there is no artwork in this entire book. And I'm not sure that's a bad thing. If I grab the original Millennium's End book, we can see the artwork in it is all right, but it's not great. It looks sort of pencil drawings. They're serviceable, but they're not fantastic illustrations. So the fact that the GM's Companion totally put artwork to the side, it's got a lovely cover here, and it's got lots and lots of diagrams, but there's no artwork. Just worth noting. If you've got a disadvantage, totally avoid using that disadvantage. And flipping over to the back cover. It's lonely at the top. 6:48, your players will be here in 12 minutes. You still haven't mapped out that terrorist training camp or thought up a name for your primary NPC. A good Millennium's End assignment needs so many details, and you've got so little time. The GM's Companion has just what you need. Whether you're running adventures on the fly or you want to cut out a few hours of pre-game prep. Location maps, NPCs, computer net layouts, organizational charts, creative GMing tips, and in-depth adventure seeds will energize your campaign while taking some of the work out of being the GM. 20 pages of GMing advice offer dozens of specific tips for managing game events and pacing, manipulating your players, building unique and memorable NPCs and settings, and turning your adventures and vision of the Millennium's End world into a cohesive, dynamic campaign that will enthrall and inspire your players. 50 pages of detailed location maps prepare you for any contingency. Whether your operatives blunder into a convenience store hold-up or are planning a major assault on a cult compound, you'll never be caught short for detailed, fleshed-out, well-described setting. Dozens of fully described non-player characters and NPC stereotypes give you the personalities and stats you need to populate your gaming sessions. From gangsters on the street to Black Eagle Miami's senior cell leaders, there's a full spectrum of NPCs to fill almost any kind of role. And there's lots more. Need a name for a minor informant? Want to name the street slang for an undercover cop? Wonder who the executive vice president for security at a multinational corporation reports to? Or what rank the commander of an infantry company holds? It's in here. For reference, resources, and good advice, GM's Companion is the ultimate tool for the busy GM. And that's what it is. It's just lots of resources for a GM for running Millennium's End. Apparently their binding isn't up to spec because the cover's starting to come off, and I have to admit this hasn't been heavily used. The contents page is a bit brief. Chameleon Eclectic had a brilliant formatting. I think they were one of the first people to start using desktop publishing, and their layout has lots of white space. It's very easy to read. Chapter 1, the Millennium's End GM. What makes a technothriller? So we go through some details here. Adventure building, pacing and drama management. Just lots of really good tips. Controlling the scale of events, timing with outside events, spurring your players along. I think these are fantastic advice for any games master. Developing non-player characters, diversity and distinction. Details for memorable NPCs. Examples. The NPC always wears black. They're always chewing gum and often pauses in conversation to offer a stick to the player characters. He smokes a pipe. He always wears cowboy boots. Just little details to flesh out an NPC and make them memorable. He wears a nose ring. The NPC could stand to shower more often. Challenging opponents and valuable allies. Contacts. Setting. Quit settings for dramatic scenes. An old fairground now shut down. A movie theatre. An oil refinery. An uplink farm. Half a dozen huge dishes point silently skyward. An abandoned metro rail station. Just really quick thoughts. You can look in there and it gives you an idea. You know, the players are going to meet with a contact or whatever. Hand out some props, GM's tricks and plot movers, including action attraction, bureaucracy unbound, compassion exploited, death. Just lots of plot elements. The jerk, in the crosshairs, the long arm of the law, the madding crowd. Great things to do with flubbed rolls. Now, if the character fumbles, you've got character suddenly needs to go to the bathroom bad if they fail their diplomacy. So they're trying to talk to somebody nice, convince them of something, and suddenly they need to rush off to the bathroom. Perception. They misread or mishear a critical word or phrase. Stealth. A character fails to notice a shadow reflection that virtually advertises his or her presence. Turning a world into a campaign. Pre-game checklist. Just giving you certain things you should probably think about. Then we've got assignments. So we've got some ideas. So, an assignment. A CD bootlegger is threatened by several sinister groups. Why would his recent bootleg recording attract so much attention? Why do these toughs keep pursuing him even after the recording is stolen? Chain link. A brutal gang of assassins take aim at a local politician. Is the attack connected to the client's investigation into police corruption? So we've got the assignment, what's really going on, and the action. So a very short adventure idea. So if the games master is just lacking something, they can reach in here and grab something. Operatives are hired to covertly investigate a terrorist bombing, but the blast and the client are not what they seem. Money in the bank. $1 million just doesn't fall out of the sky, but when it does, this client wants to hold on to it. Any port in a storm. In the forests of the night. Just a bunch of ideas. And then we're on to resources. Now this is the bulk of the book and the bit I absolutely adore. Because while it's very useful, the GM hints, you're probably only going to read them once. And the adventure ideas, once you've used them, they're useless. But resources, where you can quickly pull up a map of a small bar, a large bar, a fast food restaurant, just the layout and a description. Now the large bar, this is a larger drinking establishment, the type that bring in a more diverse crowd than one on the preceding page, which could really hop on a Friday night. A trendy restaurant. A convenience store. A parking garage, if ever there was a place to meet one of your contacts. An art gallery or a museum. A shopping mall. A store within the shopping mall. A large office building. Small office building. Office block. Meeting rooms and various small cubicles. A warehouse. An international airport. A large hotel. So when the characters are away from home and they're staying in a hotel on a mission, when the bad guys kick in the door and they have a gunfight in the hotel, you've got the layout. A small hotel. Hotel rooms individual. A modern villa. Medium house. So when they're raiding the drug dealer's house, you've got the layout here. Small house. A garden apartment. Luxury apartment. Tenements. Townhouse. Corporate compound. Terrorist training camp with its runway and barbed wire around it. A different compound. Various bunkers and the sort of way they stop blasts and help defend against raids. A marina. Because the bulk of Millennium's End is set in Miami. It's a bit Miami Vice. Lots of speedboats. So we've got party boat, luxury yacht. And then we're on to computer network layouts. Because Millennium's End, although it's described as a technothriller, it's kind of like a less grungy version of cyberpunk. There is technology here. There are computer networks to hack. Home or personal computer, building control, store computer, small corporate subnet, airline subnet. And again, like the locations, these are detailed out and explaining what might be in each place. police department subnet. So when they need to hack into the police department to find out where, somebody's being held. Phone company subnet. Then we're on to non-player characters, a description, and then we've got their stats. We go through different ones. And, for example, we've got NPC stereotypes. So a bunch of different versions. Male and female cops. So they're not all exactly the same. We've got an investigative journalist and his camera team. So we've got the camera, sound, and the producer. All their stats included. A Black Eagle senior cell leader. The stats. And 2 assistants, operatives that work alongside the heroes. A prominent North Miami gangbanger, Bobo, and the various gangsters that run alongside him. A drug lord and his mob enforcers. These are very useful just to pull out if you've got a combat going on or social interaction and you just need stats. You've got various contacts here. Assassins. We've got a bunch of names here, NPC names you can randomly choose. So you meet somebody on the street and their name is Emma. Or Marilyn. Or Dominique. I seem to be choosing all female here. Or Francois, if they're French heritage. Organization names. So they're about to break into a computer network and you find out that data's being transferred through a third-party server company, and they are Cypherdyne Biotech Corporation. You can just choose randomly and create a company name. We've got gang names, the Black Talons. And we've got organization layouts and information, so criminal organizations, infantry divisions, multinational corporations, US federal law. We've got lingo here, so slang and street talk. Police codes, just really useful stuff to flesh out. And then we've got a few films that it recommends for the techno-thriller. So we've got Black Rain, which I think does match up with Millennium's End very well. Boys in the Hood, Deadline, Die Hard, Dogs of War, Diva, La Femme Nikita, Fugitive, Hunt for Red October. I think they're stretching a bit with some of these. Mad Max, Manhunter, Miami Vice, Navy SEALs, New Jack City, Patriot Games, The Package, Platoon, Rising Sun, Robocop, Runaway, Scarface, Sneakers, Sniper, and Year of the Gun. So while a lot of these are more cyberpunky, Millennium's End is kind of on that edge. And that's us gone through the book. The GM's Companion, very, very useful resource if you're games mastering Millennium's End. A great book if you're games mastering anything in the cyberpunk or modern day settings. I highly recommend it. It's a lovely book. But as always, I think I've whittled on quite enough. So thank you very, very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, as you'll be doing me a massive favour with the YouTube algorithms. But most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.